The advisory board is an independent body established within the African Union to prevent and combat corruption. The AU noted fighting corruption remains a challenge and undermines development on the continent.
Fighting corruption is not a lone fight. It cannot be left to one institution, for instance, the Anti-Corruption Commission of any nation, to be able to do that. It's too big a fight to be left to one institution, one individual, or one sector of the economy. And that's how come for 2018 we're saying everyone should be involved, from civil society, the citizens, and including children, youths, and all, they should be involved in the fight against corruption.
Although Namibia has made strides in combating corruption, a lot still needs to be done, says Florence Ziambi, an advisory board member.
Without doing a prosecution. So that's a very good best practice, which all member states are being encouraged to do. We found that Namibia is going further to do that. We have received statistics of assets that they have recovered that had been gotten through corruption. They've got so many, and their asset forfeiture fund is actually doing very well. They've got millions of dollars in their asset forfeiture fund, unlike in most member states. So I think Namibia is quite a good example, which we as a board, we are actually going to use when we go for sensitization missions to other member states and when we go on evaluation missions. So I think Namibia is quite a good example, which we as a board, we are actually going to use when we go for sensitization missions to other member states and when we go on evaluation missions. There is political will to fight corruption in Namibia. That's what we have also found out. We have found that they don't have a law to deal with illicit financial flows. So I think Namibia has to ensure that they urgently promulgate legislation to deal with illicit financial flows.
I think Namibia has made some progress in the last few years in certain areas. So things like we've passed a whistleblower law. We've started drafting an access to information law. We have more budget transparency now than we used to have. So there has been some progress. But in general, I think, particularly in civil society, there's a feeling that we're not moving fast enough to tackle corruption. And therefore, corruption, is getting worse. And we need to see more action from governments, but also civil society being more active to hold government to account as well.
2018 was declared a year of anti-corruption under the theme "Winning the Fight Against Corruption, a Sustainable Path to Africa's Transformation." The objective of the African Anti-Corruption Year is to promote the fight against corruption on the continent with an aim to have a sustainable path to a prosperous and peaceful Africa. Selima Henok, NBC News, Windhoek.